So we are in the middle of the sugya, and we're trying to finish off Be'ez Hashem the sugya of Don Lekav Schos. We started 2 days ago, and we're going to continue. We're going to try to finish off the sugya Don Lekav Schos, and then Be'ez Hashem tomorrow we'll move on to a different sugya within the idea of Ben Adam Lechaver. So yesterday, basically what we did, we started the halachas, right? We were talking about the Gavaldik Inyanim of Ben Adam of Don Lekav Schos, and how if we want the Rabbeinu Shalom to done us Lekav Schos, then we have to judge other people favorably, and therefore it's a wonderful secret to a good judgment, to a good din, to make sure that we look at other people and number one, don't judge them, because we always mention that from the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, right? The Mishnah says, don't judge someone until he reaches his place, and you will never reach his place, which is why you can never judge him, because you don't understand his challenges and what he goes through and his upbringing and his environment and everything else, and therefore you can never judge anyone, and we should never judge anyone, but unfortunately we do. That's just a human nature of a person. As we do judge people, we have to learn not to, and when we do unfortunately judge them, we have to learn to do it in a positive way. Now that was what we started with Inyanim. We went through some of the categories of judging people. And we mentioned like this, we left off with the Shaila. We started saying, we said, number one, if someone is a tzaddik, then you have an obligation, min ha-Torah, to judge him favorably. That means, if a person is a type of person that normally, basically, stays away from that aveira, he keeps clear, tries himself, I don't do such aveira, I don't do such a thing. And you see him doing or going towards such a thing, you have to judge him favorably. As we said yesterday, the example, you see from a yid eating a piece of chazak chas v'shalom, obviously he's doing it with a medical reason, because there's no reason he would be eating it otherwise, right? So if he's a tzaddik meaning klapi, this halacha he doesn't get involved in, you have an obligation to done him lekav schus. Okay. Then we said on the other side of the spectrum, if the guy's a Rasha, and again, Rasha over here means klapi this halacha, he doesn't care about it, doesn't interest him. The example we gave was if you've got a neighbor of yours that drives on Shabbos and he knows what Shabbos says, he understands Shabbos and he doesn't care. He does it lahachas, he doesn't bother him b'chlal. So you don't have to done him lekav schos when he drives on Shabbos saying, ooh, he probably joined Hatzalah and that's why he's driving. No, he's driving because he's b'chal Shabbos. So if someone's a tzaddik and if someone's a Rasha, it's pretty simple, yes.
Why I'm saying if you could just not think at all, but you think you don't, meaning you're saying you could think something about it, but what do you gain from doing it in the first place?
First of all, it's a good question. The pasuk in the Torah tells us "B'tzedek tishpot hamisecha," that you are meant to judge people favorably. That means really and truly we shouldn't be judging people in a negative way. Unfortunately we do, but we should not. But when we judge someone, it should always be in a favorable way. B'tzedek tishpot hamisecha. That's how we started. Always judge people favorably. Look at someone else and see the good in someone else. See the positive in someone else. Because that is really, at the end of the day, such a key tool to Ben Adam L'Chaveru, such a key tool to interpersonal relationships that we have. And like we always say, we have relationships with so many people. We have relationships with our roommates, with our parents, with our rebbeim, with our workmates, with all sorts of people on the street, in the shop, all sorts of things. The best way to have the best relationship with anyone is to done them the kavskos, is to look at them in a positive light. And the Apostle is telling you to do that specifically. It's a positive commandment to go and judge people favorably. Okay, so if they're a tzaddik, easy. If they're a Rasha, easy. We understand what to do. We said yesterday, what if the guy is a Beinani? What if he's an in-between? Meaning, he tries to keep the halachas. He tries not to do averas, but sometimes, you know how it is. We're human beings. I speak for myself and not you guys, but sometimes we fall. That's life. We're human beings, as the Pasuk tells us in Tehillim, David HaMelech said, who doesn't do an avera? Everybody does an avera at some point, right? Hopefully not too often, and hopefully with charata we do tshuva, but at the end of the day, we try. What happens if such a guy is doing an avera? Meaning, he's a guy that normally does the right thing, sometimes he falls, and he's saying something now that could be taken both ways. That was the example we gave yesterday. He's doing a gesture that could be either making fun of someone or complimenting him. Which way should you look at it? So he said, the real way to look at it is to look at it in a positive way, right? It's a positive way. If it looks more towards tilting towards the positive side, that's what we do. If it's looking more towards the negative side, so then the halacha is you should keep it as an unresolved, I don't know what he meant, I don't understand what he was talking about, and leave it that way. But still, midas chasidus, since we don't know what's going on, we leave it unresolved. Now, we left off with the shaila. That's all very nice if you know the guy. What if you don't know the guy? What if you just met him and he's doing something that looks a little bit dodgy? What do I do now? Do I judge him favorably or do I not judge him favorably? Again, there's a pasuk in the Torah, this is answering your question, Ellie. There's a pasuk in the Torah telling you to judge him favorably. but I don't know the guy. Maybe he's taka doing an Aveira. I have no idea. So the Chofetz Chaim discusses this. The Chofetz Chaim discusses this in many of the Sfarim, and he brings down, let's say it's a Rambam as well, that if we don't have real background information to know if someone is doing the right thing or the wrong thing, right? And we can't really evaluate in a proper way why is he doing it and whatever it is. So generally, there's no commandment to judge him favorably, but it's a midas chasidus to judge him favorably. You hear? Meaning, a normal person that's a Beinani, there is a positive commandment to judge him favorably. You look at him in a positive way. He's probably doing the right thing. He probably doesn't know it's Asa. He probably is having a hard day. Who knows what's happening? That's a positive commandment. And when you do that, ka-ching, you get a wonderful, in Shemayim, get those coins in, you go, ka-ching, everything comes out, get those tickets being printed to get the prize after 120 years. Amazing. But if you don't know the guy, so then the halacha is that really and truly it's a suffix, and there's no commandment to judge him favorably. I don't judge him at all. I don't know him. How can I judge him? But why is it not realistic? Teach yourself not to judge other people when you don't know what's happening. It's a positive commandment.
How does that answer my question?
No.
Question is, why judge a bad man? You know a person's bad. Why judge a person?
No.
If you're going to tell me you have to work with something, not judge.
You're not judging someone bad. When you judge someone bad, you're mevatel a mitzvah. What mitzvah? The mitzvah of judging someone favorably. You should not be judging him. Of course you should not be judging. The Mishnah Pirkei Avos, we learned that at the beginning. The Mishnah says don't judge someone until you reach their space, which you will never reach their space, and therefore don't judge. But if you do, make sure you judge positive. Because if you judge negative, you're being over on a mitzvah say. Is everybody with me? Yeah. You with me? Gavaldik. So that's when it comes to a total stranger over there, and that is what's going on. Now I want to tell you, Mordecai Maisa, I say. Very important to tell you this, Maisa, because it shows us the extent of being done lekaf schus. Right? It's a very, very important idea to remember, and it's a gavaldiga Maisa as well. Listen to this story. Okay, story time, I say. Okay, story goes like this. The story is with the Heilige Ksav Sofer. Ksav Sofer is the son of Heilige Ksav Sofer. Gavaldik. So he was called to a conference of Rabbonim. Okay, Asher, you with me? He was called to a conference of Rabbonim. And what happened is they had found the coin, one of the original coins of the Machzis HaShekel that were given out at the time of the Beis HaMikdash. Right, we know that because they used to give Machzis HaShekel to count Klal Yisrael, to show the love of Klal Yisrael. Everyone gave a half a shekel. The reason of a half was to show that you're never whole. You need somebody else. But it's the whole Yisrael that goes on and on. The same idea. You're never whole by yourself. You work together with other people. You become whole. Anyway, so they had this coin. And they were passing it around. Everyone was oohing and ahhing. Wow, this was the original coin that they gave in the Beis HaMikdash. The Machzis HaShekel was amazing, unbelievable. Until it got lost. No. And all of a sudden, they couldn't find it. Because everyone was like, okay, can everybody hand it in, please? And like, no, I don't have it. I gave it to that table. And that table's like, no, I gave it to that table. What's going on over here? Where is this coin? Simcha. Where is this coin? That's basically where we're holding. Okay? So, now the problem was like this. The problem was that the Ksav Sofer, who was there, also happened to have this coin. But he, when he realized that everybody else was oohing and ahhing over that coin, he didn't want to spoil the fun. He didn't want to say, oh, what's the God one? That's like, no. So he kept it within him, and his plan was originally to show everyone, but when he saw that they were making ooh and ahhing over that one, he's like, no, I don't want to spoil anyone's fun. I'm going to keep it to myself, and that's it. Now, but there was a problem. The problem was once they lost the coin, they said, okay, I'm really sorry to do this to everyone, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to ask everybody to stand up. Right, this coin is worth a lot of money. We're going to have to ask everyone to stand up and empty your pockets and put whatever's in your pockets on the table. Now you can imagine the Ksav Sofer at the time wasn't very happy about that because he had an original coin, which he brought with him into the hall, which was not the coin they were passing around. And can you imagine if he would, out in his pocket, take out a Machzis HaShekel, put it on the table, and they would be like, So I guess, you were the one that stole it over there. So basically, what happened was, it was so somebody gets up who knew that the Ksav Sofer had such a coin, and he says, I object to this, this idea of emptying pockets. Everyone was like, Everyone looked at him saying, yeah, I'm sure you object to this idea, right? Because you've obviously got it in your pocket. I object. I suggest we wait 10 minutes. Let's keep searching. Let's keep finding it. 10 minutes. And everyone's like, okay, come on, just spill the beans already. Come on. We obviously know that you've taken it. You're probably trying to figure out a way to get out your pocket, whatever it is. You got to do something. So they say, you know what? There's an elderly man. No problem. 10 minutes. We'll give you 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, okay, can everybody stand up, please, and empty your pockets? The man goes, no. I think we should give it another 10 minutes. That was like, come on, just give it to us already. What are you doing? And eventually, after almost 20 minutes, into the 19th minute, suddenly it turned up. Someone found it on the floor. I found it. I got it. And everyone was relieved. And everyone looked to the old man like, whoa, why did you object to begin with? And he said, go ask the Ksav Sofer. And the Ksav Sofer admitted and took out his pocket. At that point, he could have done. And he had the second one and he showed that. And people over there got a very, very big lesson, in Don Lekav's. Because if you would have been there, can you imagine being there? And the Ksav Sofer would have taken out a coin. And we'd be like, come on. This was the one coin that we know about, and you've got it in your pocket. It got lost. Obviously, no one would have said he probably had one in his pocket. That would be like dreaming, like, come on, I meant to be naive. No. But the answer is, it teaches us in life that we have to learn very much to be don lekaf schus. We have to learn to look at other people in a favorable way, and it's really the only way that we can learn to judge people. And before we take a question, I just want to go over, because we are finishing now the halachos of Don Lekaf schus, and tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to move on to a different sugya, but remember what we said in the beginning. In the beginning, we said from Rav Pam Zatzal that if you want to treat a problem with someone's got a bad throat, so you can take a pill that numbs the pain, but that doesn't go to the source of the problem and heal it. It just numbs the pain. If you want to go to the source of the problem and deal with the issue in a real way to actually heal the problem, what do? You need antibiotics. Same thing said Rav Pam Zatzal when it comes to Lashon Hara, and it comes to many of the issues of Ben Adam Mechaver that often we fall in and we stumble in. If you want to treat it and numb it, so by numbing it, right, so if a person's got a problem with Shmir Shaloshin, learn Sefer Shmir Shaloshin. But if a person wants to go to the root of the problem and understand why he's speaking Lashon Hara, why he's so bad in Ben Adam Mechaveroi, it all starts over here with being Don Lekaf schus. The very first stage of a person, before he develops worse and worse character traits in Ben Adam Mechaveroi, is right over here by Don Lekaf schus. Because the very first thing that happens when you meet someone, when you talk to someone, when you have a relationship with someone, is you judge them. If you learn to judge people in a favorable light, and by the way, every single one of you would want to be judged in a favorable light. When you do something that's a little bit on the shaky side, you would want every single person who knows you, who saw you, to judge you favorably and say, he probably didn't mean it. He probably didn't know. He probably is having a bad day. Whatever it is, we would want that on ourselves. How did we start the series of Ben Adam Lechaveroi? What you don't like, don't do to others. That's what Hillel HaZaken told the guy that wanted to learn Torah on one leg. What you don't like, don't do to others. You would not like someone to judge you in a non-favorable way, therefore don't judge him. Learn to look at people in a positive light, in a good way, and that will save so much of the offspring of the Ben Adam Chaver problems that we listed at the beginning that could come, whether it's Lashon Hara, whether it comes to Chesed, when it comes to all sorts of things. Because the first reaction you have is your mind thinks about someone else. Learn to think about other people in a positive way. They're Yidden, they're beautiful neshamas. Yes, they have taivas. Yes, they have yetzaros. Not everyone's perfect, nor are you either. And therefore, it's easy to look at ourselves as being perfect and somebody else who's not perfect. But we have to understand, we all have our issues, we all have our challenges, and therefore we have to learn to judge people favorably, and when we do that, we save so much. Okay, we'll take some questions.